The night sky is adorned with countless stars, and among them, a shining point that tells a story different from the rest of the stars. Venus, our Shukra planet, makes a futile attempt to lose itself among those stars in the sky. The second planet of our solar system, but its brightness is so intense that it just can't hide among those stars. And our ancestors started calling it the morning and evening star thousands of years ago. But maybe they didn't know what was hidden behind this brightness. A mystery that has been astonishing humans for hundreds of years. A question that still echoes somewhere in the depths of space. Did Venus ever have a moon? Or was it just a mistake that, for some reason, we kept believing to be true? The story of Venus is a mystery that takes us into the world of the sky, where every answer hides new questions. Today we know Venus, a poisonous planet where it rains sulfuric acid, where the heat is so intense that even metal can melt. Today's science says that Venus has no moons. Yet, there was a time when great astronomers made completely opposite claims. So what is the truth after all? Where did those claims come from? And if they were true, then where is that moon today? The truth behind Venus's brightness: Venus is the second planet in our solar system. Its distance from the Sun is about 108 million kilometers. Its size is so similar to Earth's that it is sometimes called our twin. Its diameter is 12,104 kilometers, which is just a little less than Earth's 12,742 kilometers. But this similarity is limited only to their size. Venus's atmosphere is filled with about 96% carbon dioxide, and its thick clouds contain droplets of sulfuric acid. These clouds on Venus reflect sunlight so much that Venus becomes the brightest object in the night sky. But beneath this brightness lies a dangerous and mysterious world where temperatures reach 460 degrees C. It's so high that even metals like lead would melt and flow on its surface within minutes. Its atmospheric pressure is 92 times higher than that of Earth. That means if a person accidentally stands on the surface of Venus, they would be crushed in an instant. The surface of Venus is filled with volcanoes. Here, scientists have found more than 1,600 volcanic structures, and some scientists believe that volcanic activities are still happening here today. Venus's rotation is also unique in itself. It rotates in retrograde motion, meaning in the opposite direction. Here, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, which is completely opposite from the other planets. But Venus's rotation is so slow that it takes Venus a long time to complete one rotation on its axis. It takes 243 days, but its orbital period around the Sun is only 225 days. That means a day here is even longer than a year on Venus. All these features already make Venus a mysterious planet, but the question of its moons takes Venus even deeper into mystery. Today, we say that Venus has no moons. But this was not always thought to be true, and the first clue of this story comes to us from the 17th century. Cassini's notes provide the first claim. In the year 1672, in a small town in Italy, Giovanni Domenico Cassini was exploring the sky with his telescope. Cassini was one of the greatest astronomers of his time. He had observed Saturn's rings in detail. He was the one who discovered its four moons, Iapetus, Rhea, Tethys, and Dione. His eyes could catch every movement in the sky. But that night, when he turned his telescope toward Venus, he saw something that was completely beyond his understanding at the time. Cassini wrote in his notes that there was a small object near Venus. It was dim, but it was orbiting along with the planet. He declared it to be a moon of Venus. At that time, telescope technology was still in its early stages. After that, in the next few decades, other people also claimed to have seen something near Venus. In 1686, Jean-Charles Huygens of France also reported a similarly described object. He said that this object appeared at the edge of Venus and was visible to him for several nights. Then, in the 18th century, Johann Heinrich Lambert from Germany made this mystery even deeper. Lambert not only saw this moon, but also tried to calculate its orbit. According to him, this moon was orbiting Venus at a certain distance and its orbital period could be a few days. All these claims made the astronomers of that time think deeply. Some believed it to be true and made it a part of the discovery of Venus, but some looked at it with suspicion. Now, science always welcomes criticism and questions. Questions began to arise. If this was the moon, then why couldn't everyone see it? And if this was true, then where is it today? So the next step of this mystery takes us towards science. The reality of Venus's moons. Technology changed with time. In the 20th century, spacecraft replaced the telescopes of the 17th and 18th centuries. Efforts to understand Venus intensified. The Soviet Union started the Venera program in the 1960s from Venera 1 to Venera 13. All these probes reached the surface of Venus and sent us its pictures. In 1970, Venera 7 was the first spacecraft to land on the surface of Venus and send data back to us from there. National Aeronautics and Space Administration launched the Magellan mission in 1990, which used radar to scan all of Venus's surface. Its craters, volcanic plains, and tectonic features were also mapped. These missions taught us a lot about Venus. We found out that its magnetic field is very weak. Maybe because of its slow rotation, the greenhouse effect in its atmosphere is so strong that it doesn't let the heat escape. But one thing these missions made clear was that Venus doesn't have any moons, neither a small satellite nor a big moon. So then, what did Cassini and the others see? Scientists gave several theories for this. The first theory was that the telescopes of that time had issues like chromatic aberration and spherical aberration. It's possible that because of Venus's brightness, the reflection of a star or planet appeared in such a way that they thought it was a moon. The second theory that came up was that maybe it was an asteroid or a comet, which was passing by Venus at that time, and by mistake, it was thought to be a moon. The third possibility could be that maybe some optical effect was created due to clouds in Venus's atmosphere, which caused an illusion like a moon. But even with all these answers, not every question was being solved. If it was an illusion, then how did different astronomers at different times experience the same illusion? And if it was a permanent object, then why haven't we found any record or trace of it till today? This question was pointing towards a new theory. Was there really a moon near Venus that disappeared over time? Venus, the brightest and hottest planet in our night sky, On Earth, it is also called the morning star and the evening star. The planet Shukra, or Venus, is the brightest object in our night sky after the moon. It is quite similar to our Earth, and it is also called Earth's twin sister. In the beginning, people believed that maybe, like Earth, there would be forests, oceans, and an atmosphere here as well. But when initial space missions studied it, it was found that there was nothing like that here, as the scientists had thought. Instead, it's a massive planet filled with volcanoes and hot gases, which is called the hell of the solar system, and it's the hottest planet in our solar system. The atmosphere of Venus is filled with carbon dioxide, and it rains sulfuric acid there. And the surface temperature is extremely high, around 490 degrees Celsius. The atmospheric pressure here is about 90 times higher than that of Earth, which makes it extremely difficult for life to exist here. But scientists also believe that millions of years ago, Venus used to be just like our Earth. Vast oceans and an environment like ours existed here. But due to some mysterious reason, everything here is the opposite today. This is the mystery of the planet Venus that attracts scientists, which is why we have sent many missions toward Venus in history. We learned a lot of things through the missions, but for every answer we got, even more questions arose. They ask if Venus is hiding something from us in its mysterious atmosphere. So friends, in today's video, we will learn about 10 such mysteries of the planet Venus that still trouble scientists today. Top secret of Venus. The Institute of Astrophysics study on Venus is the most detailed and accurate to date, which has been done so far by any Earth-based observatory. From this, we learn that the wind speed on Venus flows much faster at an altitude of about 150 kilometers compared to the surface. In the middle atmosphere, the wind speed is about 700 kilometers per hour, which on Earth is far faster than any tornado ever recorded on Earth. On Venus, the average wind speed has been recorded at 360 kilometers per hour. This creates a super rotation in the atmosphere, which transmits energy within the atmosphere. With such studies, we can understand the solar tides present on Venus in a much better way. And these will also help us a lot with future missions. Number 2. Could Venus ever host life? As I told you a little while ago, scientists believe that Venus had an environment similar to our Earth millions of years ago, so yes. This means that there was once life on Venus as well. This topic has been quite fascinating and debatable among National Aeronautics and Space Administration scientists. And if that happens, Venus will become the second habitable planet in our solar system after Earth. Number 3, if that's the case, then apart from Earth, there will be another habitable planet. Prithvi and Shukra Graha have nearly identical shape and density. But that's only until we talk about the atmosphere. Because Venus's atmosphere is 90 times thicker than Earth's atmosphere. The atmosphere has high carbon dioxide or sulfuric acid in the clouds. This causes the surface temperature to reach 900 degrees. What's surprising for scientists is that these two planets, which used to be similar at the beginning of the solar system, how did both of them evolve in such different ways? On one hand, life exists on Earth, while on the other hand, hell exists on Venus. By studying Venus, we can at least find out how planets develop, and maybe by studying this in the solar system, we might find life somewhere else. Scientists, they also mentioned the possibility of a runaway greenhouse effect on Venus. Because of this, the environment there was completely destroyed. All the water on Venus is thought to have vaporized and escaped into space. And it is believed that our Earth is currently in a similar state. That's why studying Venus becomes even more important for us, so that we can better understand the history and future of our own planet and thus be able to save life here as well. So Earth doesn't become like Venus, or number 4 doesn't end up like Venus. According to scientists, both planets were born from the same nebula and have the same composition, but precisely understanding their formation is still very difficult for scientists. The same asteroids and comets that brought water to our Earth might have brought water to Venus at that time as well, because of which vast seas and oceans could form there. Yet the same question keeps coming back to the same point repeatedly. Despite having so many similarities, why are the atmospheres of Venus and Earth so different, and why are their rotations completely different as well? Venus is the only planet that rotates clockwise. All the other planets in the solar system rotate anti-clockwise. Let's discuss number 5, studying the planet's surface, interior, atmosphere, and magnetosphere. If we talk about Venus's atmospheric pressure, it's still very mysterious for us. We still know very little about it. Venus's atmosphere is extremely dense, mostly made up of carbon dioxide. Its atmospheric composition is about 95% carbon dioxide, and the remaining 3 to 5% is nitrogen. On Earth, there's just 0.04% carbon dioxide. Because of the high amount of carbon monoxide, to here, Venus's temperature is extremely hot. Most of the land on this planet was formed due to volcanic activities, and just like on Earth, volcanoes keep erupting here as well. Speaking of the clouds here, they are filled with sulfur, which causes sulfuric acid rain to fall here. This planet is surrounded by a thick layer of sulfuric acid, which makes it very difficult to see the surface of the planet. Because of this, the sunlight coming from the sun %90 to the light. The clouds here absorb it. They absorb it. Number 6, 10, 7 and 11 conducted by National Aeronautics and Space Administration. From the exploration of Venus, we have learned about many secrets here. But the biggest mystery among all of these is how much water was actually present on Venus. To find out, we must study Venus's exploration and rocks in more detail. This way we can find traces of whether water existed or not in the crust of Venus. And we might also find out where all the water that was on Venus disappeared to. We might get answers to all these questions through National Aeronautics and Space Administration's future missions like Deep Atmosphere Venus Investigation of Noble Gases, Chemistry and Imaging, and Venus Emissivity, Radio Science, INSAR, Topography and Spectroscopy. With these, we will be able to understand the evolution of Venus in a much better way. Number 8. Venus surface activity. Scientists are studying the surface activity happening on Venus, such as the movement of tectonic plates and volcanic eruptions. Although it's still very difficult to understand them, with the help of probes like Deep Atmosphere Venus Investigation of Noble Gases, Chemistry and Imaging, and Venus Emissivity, Radio Science, INSAR, Topography and Spectroscopy, it will become a bit easier to study them. This will help us understand the activities happening on Venus in a much better way. Venus's volcanoes, valleys and mountains show evidence of tectonic activity, but the tectonic movement happening on Venus is completely different from the movement happening on Earth. Tectonic plate movements on Earth are global. This tells us about the breaking and formation of continents, but nothing like this happens on Venus. What do the mountains look like on Venus? After all, what kind of mountains are there on Venus? It's still a bit difficult for us to find out because it's very hard to see the surface of Venus from space since it's surrounded by clouds of sulfur. However, we do have some pictures of Venus's surface, which were taken by landers from previous missions. But we can only get high-resolution images from missions like Deep Atmosphere Venus Investigation of Noble Gases, Chemistry and Imaging, because their technology and cameras are much more advanced. And it will be landed in a completely new region. Scientists are also eagerly waiting for this mission to study the surface. Number 10 is Venus-like planets beyond our solar system. Are there planets like Venus? Planets that exist outside our solar system, which we call exoplanets. Scientists are trying to find planets beyond our solar system with the help of new technology like the James Webb Space Telescope. All the knowledge we have about Venus will help us understand other planets like Venus. The James Webb Space Telescope can help us a lot with this. With its help, we can search for the possibility of life outside our solar system as well. Life is such a mystery that it has changed the very meaning of this universe for us. After coming into existence billions of years after the universe began, we started to think that maybe this entire universe was made just for us. But the truth is that we haven't even been able to understand the beginning of our own life. Where did it come from and in which direction are we moving forward? To understand life, we started observing the planets present in our solar system and those beyond it. And then we saw a very strange world, a place where rivers flow, lakes shine, and clouds rain down from the sky, but there isn't a single drop of water there. You must have found it strange to hear, yes, this world is exactly like that. This is Titan, the largest moon of the planet Shani. This is the only celestial body in our solar system that we know about that has liquid present on its surface in a completely stable condition, but that liquid is not water, it's methane and ethane. Scientists thought that understanding the possibility of life on Titan would be easier, but on its surface, we saw something that surprised everyone. To this day, we haven't found any clear evidence on Titan that could explain the presence of life. What is this mysterious world of Titan trying to tell us? Titan, the largest moon of the planet Shani, is a wonder in our solar system. Its size is bigger than our moon, and it's even larger than the smallest planet, Bud. But what really makes Titan special is its atmosphere. The atmosphere of Titan, which orbits around Shani, is so dense that it's even thicker than Earth's atmosphere. And it contains abundant amounts of nitrogen and methane. This atmosphere is what gives Titan its mysterious haze. Because of this, it's very difficult to see its surface from above. Scientists wanted to know what could be beneath this mysterious world. And finally, National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Cassini-Huygens mission reached there in 2004 to uncover this mystery. Cassini revealed the presence of lakes, rivers, and seas on Titan's surface. Seeing such a sight, the scientists were left stunned. The scientists thought that these liquids on Titan might give rise to the most essential chemical processes for life. Organic molecules like hydrocarbons are also found in abundance on Titan, which could be the basic building blocks for life. But now, a big question was troubling the scientists. If there are so many liquids and organic compounds present on Titan, then why haven't we found any clear signs of life there till now? If we look at Earth, when rivers meet the sea or lakes, deltas are formed there. These are the areas where the river's sediment gets deposited. These deltas are evidence of the flow of rivers and the materials carried by them. On Titan, we do find rivers and lakes, but surprisingly, scientists have not found any clear signs of deltas there. Cassini's radar images and data from the Huygens probe have revealed that Titan's rivers often end quite abruptly, without delta formation. The absence of deltas on Titan has become a major mystery for scientists. The lack of deltas could mean that Titan's rivers are not as active as we thought. Maybe it's also possible that Titan's rivers are seasonal. They only flow for a short period of time and don't get enough time to deposit sediment. Or it could also be that Titan's surface composition is so unique that it either doesn't allow delta formation to happen or stops it from forming. The possibility of life on Titan wasn't a big deal for us because we saw something on Titan that we hadn't found anywhere else. Scientists were sure that even if there wasn't life like ours on Titan, we would probably find some other kind of life form there. If not a carbon-based life form, then there could be a silicon-based life form, but all our hopes slowly started to fade away. Scientists faced many technical challenges in the search for life on Titan. First of all, Titan's atmosphere is so dense that it's very difficult to see and study its surface from space. If we really want to understand Titan, it's essential that we land on its surface. When we got closer, Cassini's radar and infrared instruments told us a lot, but its resolution was limited. The Huygens probe did land on Titan's surface in 2005 and sent us some data, but it was only active for a few hours. To search for life, we need to understand how chemical reactions actually work on Titan. On Earth, life evolved around water, but on Titan, liquid methane and ethane take the place of water. Can biological processes occur in these liquids? Lab experiments show complex organic molecules can form in methane and ethane, but we still don't know how complex these processes can be. The level of radiation on Titan's surface is very high because it is present in Saturn's magnetosphere, which is filled with high-energy particles. This radiation can destroy organic molecules, which really reduces the chances of life. The presence of organic molecules on Titan's surface definitely makes it a good candidate for the search for life. But the absence of deltas and the complex structure of its surface have puzzled scientists. Titan's surface features dunes, mountains, and canyons similar to those on Earth, but these have been formed by the flow of methane and ethane. Scientists believe that cryovolcanism might also occur on Titan. But how does it work on Titan? And it is playing a major role in keeping Titan active. We still need to learn more about this. The density of Titan's surface is very low and it is mostly made up of organic materials and ice. This means that Titan's surface could be much lighter and more fragile compared to Earth's. Because of this, river sediment may not settle there as easily, or it could be so light that the winds blowing there carry it away. Cassini's data also revealed that Titan has very strong wind patterns which can spread sediments over a large area, preventing the formation of deltas. To solve the mysteries of Titan, National Aeronautics and Space Administration has planned the Dragonfly mission, which will reach Titan in 2034. But it will be a drone-like rotorcraft that will fly over Titan's surface and study a large area. Dragonfly's target is to deeply investigate the organic molecules and chemical processes present on Titan's surface and in its atmosphere. This mission will provide mobility on Titan's surface, allowing scientists to study its different regions. Dragonfly will also study whether prebiotic chemistry, chemical processes needed for life's origin, exists on Titan. If Dragonfly finds signs of deltas on Titan, it will be a big step in understanding the behavior of Titan's rivers. Along with that, this mission will also deeply study Titan's methane cycle, which is similar to our Earth's water cycle. Titan's surface is a puzzle that has made scientists think deeply. There are rivers here, but without deltas, the abundance of organic molecules, and the presence of an active methane cycle. But still, there are no clear signs of life here. All this makes Titan the most mysterious body in our solar system. Is life possible on Titan, or is it just a world where chemical processes are still circling the starting point of life? Friends, what do you think? Could life be preparing to emerge somewhere on Titan? Space really fascinates us. The deep black darkness of the night and the pearl-like shining stars in the sky give us peace. The many mysteries of our solar system attract us, and as a result today, as we explore space, the reign of solar machines prevails. But today, we won't talk about millions or billions of kilometers away, but about our own planet Earth. There are also many places on Earth about which we humans don't know much. And the oceans hold those mysteries of the Earth. The ocean looks blue from above, but when you go down, there is nothing but deep darkness. It's even more mysterious and frightening than the darkness of space. No, according to a report, about 2 ships sink in this sea every week and become a part of its mystery. If the water of the sea is removed and its surface is observed, we will find the wreckage of hundreds of thousands of ships there. Which were once floating on its waters. It sank because it collided with a huge iceberg. About 1,500 people died in this accident. In August 1995, nearly 72 years later, the Titanic's wreckage was discovered about 13,000 feet underwater. So after this, when the pictures and videos of the sunken Titanic come before the whole world, the Titanic once again becomes a topic of discussion. There are many museums around the world dedicated to the Titanic where thousands of people visit every year. But the place in the middle of the ocean where the Titanic sank still exists. For adventure lovers, this place is like a paradise. This is also a tourist place where people like to go, but going here is not without dangers. It is. With the lack of pressure in space, meaning the vacuum is our biggest enemy, under the sea, pressure itself becomes our biggest enemy. And something similar happened recently with the Titan submersible. June 18, 2023 Sunday, OceanGate, a small submersible named Titan from the company. It takes 5 people about 13,000 feet below the sea to show them the wreckage of the Titanic. There is a difference between a submarine and a submersible. A submarine can go underwater and come up on its own anywhere. It can navigate anywhere, but a submersible has limited facilities, so it has to rely on a mothership for navigation and other things. So here, the submersible is kept on a Canadian boat. First, it is taken near the wreckage of the Titanic in the Atlantic Ocean, and then the submersible is released into the water. Last time, 5 people, including the pilot, were on board this submersible. Their journey was supposed to last 5 to 6 hours, but about 2 hours into the trip, the Titan submersible lost contact with the support ship. After that, search operations were launched. Several attempts are made to contact them again, but there is no contact with the submersible. Actually, losing contact under the sea is not a new problem. This often happens, and maybe that's why it wasn't taken too seriously. The people on the support ship who were giving instructions to the submersible thought that the connection would probably be re-established in half an hour, so they kept trying. Eventually, when the seriousness of the situation is realized, the Coast Guard is informed, and the submersible is searched for on a large scale. And finally, after 2 or 3 days of searching, the United States Coast Guard announces this. Their remotely operated vehicle, has found some debris of the Titan submersible, which indicates that a fatal implosion must have occurred in that submersible. And on board, all 5 people were killed. In a statement issued by the United States Coast Guard, it was stated that pieces of the Titan submersible were found about 1,600 feet away from the wreckage of the Titanic ship on the ocean floor. For so many days, the rescue workers kept working in the hope that maybe they would be safe and sound. And the whole world kept praying that the people in the submersible would be alive. Many countries were involved in the search. But with every passing minute, one question was on everyone's mind. What exactly happened to the Titan? Where exactly was the flaw? From the day the news of the Titan submersible going missing spread around the world, reporters started making several big revelations about this submersible and the company operating it. OceanGate, which operates this submersible, is a research and tourism company, and since 2021, this company started offering trips to see the wreckage of the Titanic. David Pogue is a Columbia Broadcasting System journalist. He traveled on this submersible just last year and described it as very junky. And he also said that many of its parts were taken from the cupboard. For example, instead of using proper ballast, they used rusted construction pipes. David further explained that the submersible doesn't even have recessed control panels. A regular game controller is used to move up, down, left, and right. Using a game controller in these vehicles is not a new thing. Either it uses such controllers in many of its vehicles, but the game controllers being used in the Titan submersible required a stable Bluetooth connection, which means even today they went underwater relying on Bluetooth. This is really surprising, but among all these things, the most troubling thing is still the most troubling. It still wasn't clear whether outside experts had inspected the Titan for safety or not. However, in 2018 dozens did. Industry experts had warned OceanGate that if they didn't get an independent safety assessment for the Titan, one day this expedition would become catastrophic. Even OceanGate's own director of marine operations was concerned about passenger safety due to the Titan submersible going to extreme depths. David said that they faced a lot of problems even during their previous dive. The last time they were on the ocean surface, they went missing for about 5 hours. These were all red flags, but OceanGate ignored all of them. Despite all this, OceanGate's Chief Executive Officer Stockton Rush said that innovation, which we are doing, is more important than the critics' concerns. However, Rush was also one of those who died in the Titan implosion. He was the pilot of the Titan submersible during this expedition. In simple words, he said that getting certified for safety standards would take them years, and this would slow down the pace of their innovation a lot. Rush also said here that sometimes safety is pure waste, meaning he considered getting certified for safety standards to be a waste of his time. This was another red flag that Titan was not under any strict regulation, and it wasn't even under international maritime law. Although the United States has its own rules, technically those rules also do not apply to the Titan submersible because Titan was being launched by a Canadian ship, and that too in international waters. Rush tried several times to create hype about Titan's creative design. He said that it had a system that would give him real-time data about the health of the Titan submersible. OceanGate and other investors spent millions. He said that the hull of this Titan submersible was designed and developed to withstand the extreme pressure at the bottom of the ocean. Rush also sought help from National Aeronautics and Space Administration for the Titan submersible, and National Aeronautics and Space Administration agreed to assist. But this agreement only covered consultation on the submersible's materials and manufacturing process. After this, recently, a National Aeronautics and Space Administration spokesperson made a revelation that neither OceanGate had them do any testing nor manufacturing, nor did they use the agency's workforce or facilities. OceanGate outsourced all work on the Titan submersible. This shows that the company wasn't very concerned about safety. While the company's chief executive officer, Rush, knew how dangerous an adventure under the sea could be, Jangi Rush further says that there are many similarities between going hundreds of kilometers up into space and going a few kilometers down into the ocean. In both cases, help is very far away, the surrounding environment is extremely deadly. In fact, the conditions on the surface of the sea become even more dangerous, and people going under the sea feel much more isolated. Because radio transmission can travel many light years in space, but it cannot travel underwater, which makes it the biggest challenge to keep communication reliable. And this is a situation that the Titan submersible had faced many times before, but they ignored every red flag. Rush, everything. They knew what dangers there were and what conditions they were going to face. But still, like a cult follower, they set out on this journey without thinking about anything. They started their journey from a Canadian mothership. Titan stopped responding. The United States Coast Guard says that at exactly that time, the Titan submersible imploded. That means the pressure vessel of the Titan, in which people were on board, it couldn't withstand the pressure of the water column above it. The external pressure became so great that the 5-inch thick carbon fiber and titanium pressure vessel was suddenly crushed. According to reports, some pieces of the submersible have been found, which confirms the implosion. However, the entire pressure vessel and any bodies have not been found yet. yet. Because of this, nothing can be confirmed yet. It can't be said with complete certainty what factors triggered this accident. We'll also share some speculations about the Titan submersible's final moments and discuss possible scenarios in the next part of this video. What possibly happened with the Titan? To watch that video, make sure to subscribe to the channel.